What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Welcome back to another Thursday night. Welcome to the night after Christmas. Hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas. I literally rolled into the house 10 minutes ago from Christmas. Let me know if I'm Darth Vadering tonight. And so I'm a little bit disheveled, sideways. Been a busy week. But I am here. What is going on, everybody? We got DZ and Hillary watching, of course. Chris, Lathan, Keith is in here. Darwin from down under. He may have fallen asleep. I don't know what time it is down there. But, okay. Let me tell you what. Let me go ahead and let me say hi to the new patrons that we got since last week. Barry, Bill, Phil, and Christopher. Thank you, guys. As always, thank you. Thanks, Danny, for verifying my sound. Hey, Michael, I have your log. I have not gotten a chance to look at it. I will dig into it tonight or tomorrow. What's going on, Sean? There we go. Darwin's back. Hey, Jim, what is going on? How was everybody's holiday? Who got car parts? Anybody get any kind of car parts, tools? I know that Hillary got some tools, at least a tool organizer. So I want to see what everybody got for Christmas. Hey, yeah, welcome, newbie. Mr. Williams is new. W. Williams down here. Thanks for swinging into the live show. Hey, Zero, what's going on? So, surprise me. What did everybody get for Christmas? Ooh, Keith got a DSX Flex Fuel kit. Nice. Bed rugs, red X-ray. I love bed rugs. I put bed rugs in all of my trucks. All of my, I swear by them. That's the first mod that I ever do. Is a tonneau cover, hard. Normally it's a backflip, and then I put a bed rug in. So great, so great. Chris got a nice Summit Racing gift card. That's about the best gift that you can get. Sean got himself a wideband. Mr. Williams got an OBD link. Ooh, the real Morford got a new tuning laptop. That's always a good one. Indoor carts. I haven't done indoor carts in a couple years. Yeah, I did the same thing, Chris. I spent way too much money on the credit card. Now I gotta pay them bills off. But I got a lot of parts building up and a car that still does not run, unfortunately. Darwin says, just took an idle tune of my car. Was interested after watching Lowbuck. Yeah, on the third gen, Randy does a pretty good job of explaining what's going on up there. Dude, SS Research is going big. Got an RPM transmission for the Trailblazer. Zero's throwing a 4L80 back together. Joe Williams got a pretty sweet whiskey glass for Christmas. Headed home to fill it up. Hillary says, my sound is a little bit low. Let me dial it up then. I try not to blow people's ears out, but I can bump the sound a little bit here. Hey, and let's see where it gets too loud. That's probably about good there. Thanks for the heads up. Keith, the beer selection for tonight is a Primordial IPA. This thing's 9%. You got to watch yourself. Yeah, I mean, this will put you in an early grave. Yes, Nick, thank you. Had a good Christmas. Thank you. Yeah, just let me know if the sound's ever messed up. We'll get that sorted out. Good Christmas. Literally just got back from Christmas. Got more pins in from Mauser today so I can finish building my E67 to E22 harness to put the original ECM back in to get the car running. In the meantime, long story short, if you follow me over on the Patreon, you know that turns out that the North Star in this Cadillac has a 24X reluctor instead of a 58X, which is really weird. I did a video on it that's getting ready to come out soon where I talk about the different ECMs, the different crank signals, cam signals, things like that. But I'm guessing it's probably the only VVT motor out there that is still a 24X or was still a 24X, because they did mid-year in 2006 go over to a 58X. B2B, you did not see me at PRI, but you probably saw one of the patrons or a fan, because I know there's a couple guys wearing their shirts out there. I should have made it to PRI. I had no excuse. I should have been there. No, Nick, what happens is that it uses that crank signal to determine what the timing is on it, so it knows when to fire the injectors in the ignition, and so it is completely off. So basically, it would run and stumble and kind of die because it was firing at half rate. It was just misfiring. It's a wonder that ran even as much as it did. So the problem is that there are really, the E40 is about the only viable 24x PCM for a Gen 4. That's the one that was on the LS2 GTOs, because they were kind of a holdover where they were still 24x and 1x on the cam. But once again, the cams, being that it's a 4 cam with variable valve timing, which isn't really supported on any 24x platform, just means that it's just a pain in the ass. Honestly, I'm shopping for LSs right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the thing running because I've got to get it inspected and I've got to get it registered. I'm past registration requirements. I should have probably done that. No, Brandon, the conversion box goes from 58 down to 24. So you can take a high resolution signal, which is 58 counts, and convert that to 24. But there's no way to convert the 24 up to 58 because it would just have to start doing guessing, basically, of where the missed signal triggers are. So there's not really a way of properly doing that. Hey, John, welcome back, brother. So, it is what it is. It's a pain in the butt because it just means more money earlier on than I'd hoped. Welcome back, Zeth. Merry Christmas, brother. Good to see you on here. It just means having to, dive in and spend more money than we wanted to earlier on. But I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do in the meantime. I've got a supercharger to bolt on this thing. The E22 ECM supports the wideband sensors. I don't know how much correction range they have in them. I'm just probably going to throw the damn thing on and see what happens. Worst case is we blow up. Oh, what the hell just happened to my video? I'll have to look into it, Nick. Do you know if it works very well, Nick? Hey, Beastie Boy, welcome, brother. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily want to go to standalone on this motor. I want to tune on a Gen 4 ECM for a while. I have not, Darwin. That's an interesting proposition there. Is there somebody doing that? I mean, I'm sure there's some race applications that are doing cylinder pressure using ion sensing on the spark plugs. And I'm just worried that without having something that's a fairly reliable way of converting 24 to 58, man. Yeah, Josh, it was super warm today. Stop had a factory car with the 4-cam control. That was a 24X. Now, I mean, theoretically, I could run it on an E40. I really don't want to have to repin it to an E40. As I said, the only reason I'm doing the repinning right now, it's not even repinning. I'm literally building a harness to put the E22 back in just to get it legal. But, hey, Casey, glad you were able to jump on even though you're visiting family down in Florida. Thanks for stopping by. John, dude, that's awesome, bro. Yes, B2B says, well, off topic. No, there's nothing's off topic, B2B. You're new here. I just kind of talk until stuff pops up. And Joe, I'll tell you why we can't change the crank to 58X. I mean, we technically could, but that's more than I want to do on this motor. Some of the early 2000 GM PCMs do not have EQ ratio on them, specifically the ones that do not support flex fuel, and which is fine because if you don't have the ability to see alcohol percentage on there, you don't necessarily want to run a blend. If you are able to get solid E85, you can do an E85 tune and just tune to that. But that's just one of those things you have to overcome. Joe, for the money that it would cost to change the crank and the cams over, it would cost almost as much as a junkyard LS. So we never wanted to get that deep into spending money on this motor. The idea on it was originally just to run this thing till it blew up and then get rid of it. You know, because these things are not worth their weight in iron, basically. Brandy, you can't replace the reluctor on these cranks because they are in between cylinders. So they are in the middle of the crank for some reason. What's going on, Sinister? Casey, you got back, then you went back. John, a reluctor on the crank would fix the crank timing issue. I don't know what we would do about the cam timing because we'd probably still need to bring in at least one cam. What's going on, Nathan? Yeah, you know it is what it is. Yeah, it said Darwin, that one only goes from 58 to 24. Doesn't go from 24 to 58. I mean, you're right, Zeth. That would be the easiest way, but even then, I don't know if I want to go that deep into it. Blue Angel, don't really tune Fords. We talk about Fords every once in a while, but not anything I've gotten deep into. Nice. Casey's going to pull the 6 in the truck. Take it to the machine shop. Going stage 2 to build my first turbo rig. Be interested to follow along on that one, Casey. Nick says, if I am in constant open loop, would having one O2 plugged in cause it to be overly difficult to tune the MAF? No. Now, whenever you're in open loop, you're not using the O2 sensors, so. B2B, I'm trying to use pump E85 on a supercharged 38. I've never seen that before. Well, crap. Thought it was going to be easy with EQ ratio. Now, you know, the problem being is, pump E85 is not always E85, so you've got to watch yourself there. You really have to have an alcohol sensor. And if you don't have a PCM or an ECM that has the ability to run the flex fuel setup, you're kind of guessing, and you're either running too rich or too lean, generally. Well, I'll make sure and follow you on the Instagram, Casey. Just don't do the Facebook thing. So, and yeah, next year we're just all going to have to get together and have a shootout. Well, Blue Angel, an O2 Mustang's not going to be too bad. Doesn't have a lot of the new stuff on there, so stick around. A lot of the stuff that we talk about on Gen 3s and Gen 4s will apply to an O2 Mustang. It's pretty straightforward. Darwin, there is a parameter that you can log that will say if it is in open loop. Technically, I think it says closed loop, yes or no. So look for that parameter. Like J. Mike said, it's usually E80. And honestly, even then, I've worked in a truck loading station at a refinery. The batches aren't always going to be even reliable at that low level. No, Lin Twin, you do not have to purchase a whole new setup for Ford. The same credits that work for GM now work for Ford. They've changed that. So I have downloaded and, you know, I've edited EcoBooster 2 with my standard. Well, if you got the MPVI1, that might be different. I'm thinking about the 2. Somebody might be able to chime in on that, on whether or not the MPVI1 uses the universal credits now or if they're still platform specific. Are you talking about on your MAF, Nick, or on your volumetric efficiency stuff? Whoo! Biker boy. 26 to 27 are basically maxed out. Yeah, I can't remember if they still do the universal credits. Correct. Yeah, okay. William piped in, says that the MPVI 2 is the one that uses the universal. MPVI 1 is still platform based. But can you buy credits for a Ford on the MPVI 1? Okay. But the unit's the same regardless. You just have to buy the credits, right? Okay. Dude, Durfloor, I've been looking at so much stuff. What are you looking for as far as injector control? Are you wanting sequential? Are you just wanting bank control? Because I tell you what, that micro squirt is not a bad little unit if you're not going too crazy on the EFI stuff. Mega squirt really is probably the way to go for price wise. So, and they're, you know, pretty small, pretty neat little units. Who's telling you, Nick, that you shouldn't need to mess with VVE whenever you have intake and long tube headers, catless long tubes? Because they don't know what they're talking about. Darwin, you pulled the front left hand O2 sensor to put the wideband in. Did you unhook it? I mean, just double check. Look for that parameter. Yeah, Durfloor, check out the micro squirt, man. They're like $300. They'll do two up to 8 cylinders. Ghost cam. Kevin, you're wanting to do a ghost cam on a Gen 5 LS. I mean, that's a tough one, man. I don't know that you can really do that with the way that the Gen 5s are set up to make it sound like it's got a beefier cam that it has in there. Snake Eater 850's going in for my 08 this weekend. First time scaling for injectors. They have good, they got good injector tables that come with those. Fast enough. There will be a video on tuning fuel transients out soon. Now, you've got to remember, soon can be 3 weeks or 3 months, but it is on the short list of stuff that we are going to get out here soon. Lynn says, at the micro squirt, I have seen some quirks with normal driving because of the batch fire. Okay, good to know, Zeth. Snake Eater 1500s, they had good data last time I checked. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Gen 5 LS, no cats, is showing high long-term fuel trims because you're running lean. Can you explain what the ECU is saying, and can it be addressed with adding more timing? I mean, you've got to slave out the catalytic converters through, you know, basically disabling the rear DTCs and stuff like that. But if you have high fuel trims, it's because you've got more airflow. So you're running lean. Blue Angel, it's not that bad, man. Honestly, like, you'll be able to find in there where the scaling is, specifically to the injector flow rate versus pressure. They should provide you a chart that shows you the different flow rates at different pressures. You should be able to dump it in there. Danny Z, I have not done. You can adjust. Basically, you want to kill adaptive idle, or you want to broaden the area that it makes corrections to allow it to kind of do some bouncing around, and then you want to force the idle down and pull timing out, and that'll give it some thump. Yeah. Add fuel on a Gen 5 LS, Kevin? I mean, well, it depends on what table you're tuning, because whenever you're tuning your math and your speed density or your volumetric efficiency tables, that's effectively what you're doing. You're making air corrections, which then in turn automatically adds fuel because of the calculated air to fuel ratio. Good to know, Joe. I'm not sure about that. Not a perfect match on the injector tables. Pressure delta versus KPA on my truck values are all the same under 400 kPa. Yeah, I don't know if Randy's video will necessarily apply to a ZL1 situation. Because that really doesn't... well, I mean, it's still going to have cylinder impact, stuff like that. Lynn Twin, the Cadillac is not coming along well at all right now because of the fact that it's a 24X reluctor as opposed to a 58X reluctor, so I can't get it running on the E67. And I just don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Brandon, what are you working on with, if you're asking if VATS is still active? And how are you checking for an injector pulse? What up, Jet Black Z? Well, speed density and volumetric is the same. Your volumetric efficiency table is your speed density table in this situation. So you've got your mass airflow sensor, then your MAP sensor, which is what brings in your pressure for your volumetric table. Your volumetric table is literally just the efficiency of the engine's ability to move air at that RPM and load or pressure ratio and RPM or whatever, however it's set up. But depending on your platform, that number is a mass number, much like your mass airflow, that is then used to calculate how much fuel that it needs to hit either your stoic or your power enrichment ratio. So, if you are running lean, those numbers need to be bigger. If you're running rich, those numbers are too big and you need to make them a little bit smaller. Yeah, Josh, we could do it with an E40 possibly. But as I said, I just don't know if I want to go through the practice of repinning again to put it on an E40. I'm still kicking around the idea because it's getting very expensive to try and get this North Star running just to eventually pull it out. You had Zone 29 go stupid and give you bad numbers again, Nick? I believe you deleted the cats, Lynn, not the VATS. I don't know that your vehicle anti-theft would piss off your neighbors, but... Yeah, Brandon, I'm not sure how the old 4.8s, I'm guessing that is on an E38 platform then. Do you know what the ECM is on that? Because most likely that is going to have a command relay or a start relay that gets activated. And as John said, make sure that you did a right entire with the VATS delete on there, because if you didn't, that thing will still be locked out. You should hear the start relay click whenever you turn the key to on. But zone 29 is doing the same thing, Nick. You may need to shift those zones over a little bit. Yeah, Jacob, you're probably right. We could put an E40 on. It's just, man, I'm tired of pinning crap out. Jason says, trying to dial in this idle with this new cam on cold start. Vehicle reads, starts and hangs around 11.3, 130 for one, then ramps up normal start. Recommendation. You're saying it hangs around 113 RPM? I mean, it shouldn't be able to run at 113. That's crank RPM. Dude, I don't know if you can see this big scar right here, but it is from basically rolling a Honda Big Red 3-wheeler back when I was, 14 years old on the farm. Kevin Garrett, the short-term fuel trims are the live reading from your narrow bands to make fuel corrections. Those get rolled up into the long terms eventually, which is basically a average of your short-term fuel trims. Hey, VJ, it's not a bad idea because I'm probably going to need help dropping the cradle and the torque tube and stuff out of this thing. 79 Beastie Boy, I do have one. Go back a little bit longer, or if you want to, after this video is over, you can post in the comments of this and I will put a link to it. But if you go search the channel, there is a video about hooking up the AEM wideband through the serial connection as opposed to using the analogs on the MPVI2. So you don't need the Pro features. Nick, I literally did a one-on-one video with you last week where we walked through setting up those tables. Like I showed you how to do the zone correction on that one. You're just going to repeat that for zone 29. You are correct, John. Danny Z's like make cannon plug connectors. It's 111 connections, Danny. How about you make them? You come over and make them whenever it's done. We can throw it together. Joe's trying to get the parts together for an AFM delete on my 08. Everything is on back order. No lifters, cam, valley covers, nothing available. Isn't that a pain in the butt, man? In fact, I have specifically been looking for non-AFM motors, non-VVT motors, because I don't want to deal with any of that crap. P59 drive-by cable PC, I amended the automatic start relay. Using the C1500 OBS wiring for that. Brandon, I don't know, man. That's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. Nick, I helped Blue Cat whenever he developed that software out in the late 2000s. I don't know that it has been updated since then, so I wouldn't necessarily assume that it has better math smoothing than HP tuners. I know that there for a while it may have been bricking some ECM, so be very careful with it, because I want to say as long as you're using the spreadsheet and bringing the numbers in manually from the different coefficient tables, that's fine. But if you're using the automatic write to tune, there's the chance that you could cause some issues. Just be aware of that. There's a reason why Blue Cat doesn't keep that one up to date. Yeah, Jacob, appreciate it, man. Turbo 4.8, probably going to be following you down that road. I used to be so jealous of my neighbor because on his Honda three-wheeler, he could ride wheelies for a mile down the road. Hey, Gene. Welcome to the live show, brother. Awesome, man. Keep watching. If you got any questions, make sure and pop them up. Lynn, if you were to drink a beer per connection, it would take you a month and a half to get these things done. No, B2B, he is talking about the old volumetric efficiency software the Blue Cat did. The trans software, I believe he still keeps up to date. Well, Nick, give me some time. I will adjust that zone for you, and then we can try again. I've just been a little bit busy with the holidays, so. Dude, I would love to do cannon plugs, Danny. Honestly. They're super expensive, for one. But, yeah, it would be awesome. And, in fact, whenever we get to the point that we go over to something like a standalone, we'll probably do a cannon plug through the firewall. Well, you got to do like 3 cannon plugs. Yeah, that's not that crazy. F-16s, man, they've got some cam plugs that got like 75 pins in them. You get one of those started up sideways. Dude, John, I'm telling you, I've been reading all about the 4.8s. That's what I'll be honest with you. I made an offer on a 4.8 today. I haven't heard back from the guy. So, I have not, Lynn. I have not dove into it. I need to look into it, though. If my timing is maxed out, how do I need to adjust my timing to start running nitrous? Blue Angel, you want to pull 2 degrees of timing for every 50 horsepower of nitrous you run. Josh, I'm probably looking at the 4.8. What is it, the L20? What's the one without VVT? I don't know. It'll depend on what I stumble across, to be honest with you. But I want a long block. Yeah, oh yeah, we'll go over $8,000 with it, Zeth. I want a long block. I want to be able to drop one in and start stock on it and go from stock. I don't want to necessarily do a full build up on one. VJ, I think anything after 2006. I'd have to double check on that. Do you really, John? Is it a Gen 4 or Gen 3? I need a Gen 4. Gene, yes, the Terminator X is an awesome engine management system. Blue Angel, that should be where you're at right now. If you are able to achieve that kind of timing without getting knocked, you just need to then subtract the 2 degrees for every 50 where you're at now. You don't have to do it from factory timing. You're going to take 4.8 pistons in my 5.3 rods. How far away are you, John? I mean, we could always do a 5.3. You let me hack the harness on it? Why would he leave it in open loop? I mean, have they taken the narrow bands out? I don't know. There's a million reasons. If it were a race-only car, I guess you could leave it in open loop. But if you're going to be driving around... Flexor, there is a huge difference between a Gen 5 and a Gen 4. The Gen 5 is torque-based. The Gen 4 is not. So that's where things get interesting, is on the Gen 5. Now, from the standpoint of fueling, timing, stuff like that, it is a lot of the same stuff. But then after that, you have to contend with the torque tables to make sure that you are not hampering the engine's ability to make power. Okay, Lynn, I'll check it out. Yeah, B2B. I've seen some guys running, what is it, Innovate, that's got one that's got a wideband with an ethanol sensor built into it, I believe. $10.5 to 1 with boost, Zeth? Yeah, it's strange, Darwin, to leave it in open loop. Dude, that's what I want to see, Josh, is the 5.3 with the 4.8 crank in it. That'll be a cool motor. Gene, it took me years. So do not feel like you're in over your head. Ask questions. That's the big thing. Ask questions. You know, watch these videos multiple times till you get your mind messed around, wrapped around it, and then make small adjustments, small changes. You as long as you don't go in and make a whole bunch of changes at once, you're not going to mess anything up. You just maybe make it to where it won't run right. So, yeah, right, Lynn, that is a badass video. Nick, SOI tuning on a DI motor, I don't know that there is significant power to be made. I think that there's additional fueling that you can get out of adjusting your start of injection. So, but if you look at the timing for a DI motor, there's not a whole lot of changes that you can make outside of the factory adjustments. Correct. That's the one that, what's his name was talking about earlier, the 4.8 crank and a 6 liter, or was it 6.2 that they was running? The one that was going like 8,500 RPMs? Man, that's not bad, but that's still a long ways to go to pick up a motor, VJ. Yeah, ZL1, I did a video, a couple months ago where I talked specifically about zones and how they mess you up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Do. Yeah, and I can send you a link to whenever I was talking to Nick about his zones. But this one will get you started, if I can find it. Man, I tell you, I've done too many videos. I can't find them. Maybe I should just cut back. What do you think? You guys think I'm doing too many videos? There it is. The butt suck. Thanks, Hiller. Okay, there. Try that one. That link is to me doing VVE smoothing, and I talk about zones on that one a little bit. And then there's another video here. Let me find it. That's from a long time ago. And I say a long time ago, probably 6 months ago. Oh, that's another smoothing. Okay, here's the one for coefficients. This one probably has a terrible name. I probably need to put a better name on this one. That's a different one, John. that one, yes, I did talk about it, but the video link that I posted up top there is one where I'm actually out and about doing it. And going through and showing you doing it on the Super Auto as I was adjusting VVE for a different pulley swap. So it's a little bit more in depth to my process. Hey, Nick D, appreciate the smoky burnout, brother. Yeah, get some of that smoke. Oh, speaking of which, what time is it? 8:38. $475 in Altoona for what, VJ? Altoona's not too far away. $475 for a 5.3 iron block. I'll have to check that out, Red X-Ray. I have an 08 van. Is it 5.3 or 4.8, VJ? It's a van, huh? Honestly, I don't need to be spending any money until probably February. Really, for a 4.8? Send me a link to that, VJ. Oh, god dang you. Yeah, send me a link to that one. I mean, that one's got... Did they do VVT on those 4.8s? 2008 is going to be that LY2 or whatever it is, I'm guessing, instead of the L20. I mean, it's not the end of the world for that money. That's good money for one. Especially, is it... Oh, I know, but I'm wanting to, John. I know that they're the same block, but I'm wanting to put it in as a stock motor and go from there because I still want to do the whole. Okay, good to know, VJ. Still want to do the whole process of going through from bone stock on a 4th generation motor, even though that we're going to be on a little bit of a weird platform where we're going to be using an E67, which really doesn't matter. Still want to go through and do all that stuff on a 4th gen and walk through every single step of doing all that kind of stuff. Jacob, tried my best to run decaps. Startup and idle sucked. Order 85 pounds today. You man, Jacob, that seems to be an issue with the decaps. Whew, 7,000 RPMs for 5 minutes. 260 cubic inch D-stroked LS. That's awesome. Kevin Garrett. I know you want to pull timing for IAT, but I guess maybe I want to see what stock looks like. Then make it more safer. Stock's probably safe enough for IAT adjustments, Kevin, to be honest with you. It's probably a little bit aggressive, I would say. Okay, VJ. Yeah, if you could email me that, brother. Because I will not remember that in 5 minutes. You know how I am. Yeah, nothing wrong with doing something like that, Zeth. As I said, I just don't want to have to completely open it. I would like to get something that we can drop in and start tuning on pretty quick. Kevin says, what about too much timing on 93 octane? It's how much timing you can take, Kevin. Oh, that makes sense. Is that what it is? Ski boat motor? Yeah, it should be aggressive enough for that, Kevin. Yeah. You have, Jacob, you're saying you have gas in your oil? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Lynn, we're doing a merch pack raffle right now. Just, some decals, stuff like that. So, by all means, if you want to join the raffle, just type in !raffle. There is 4 minutes left. What are they doing on the O-ringing, Josh? I guess I haven't really watched these Nelson guys because it just makes me really jealous. Seeing all those sweet, sweet motors. Jacob, the cam swap on the XLR would be super easy because it's a dual overhead cam. Just nobody makes cams for it. Nice. Hey, Z01, thank you for the smoking burnout. Yeah, Jacob, that makes sense. Yeah, well, and you could wash the cylinder walls out doing that too, so that's definitely something that you don't want to do. What is going on, Ranch? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the raffle. Hillary, you're good. I'm showing you on the active list there. Nah, they did a 404. Did it have DOD on it? I think they did a 48 with DOD. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been wrong before. Because there's a difference between the LY2 and the L20. Let's look. There you go, Casey. I like your style, brother. Okay. Gen 4, Gen 4. Where are the Gen 4 motors? LY2 is the non. Okay, the L20 has VVT, but not AFM. So that's an easy fix. Getting rid of VVT is easy enough. J Mike, how close are you to maxing out your existing injectors? Just do the calculation. No, Lin Twin, nobody makes anything for the XLR. I don't blame them. The idea behind the XLR was to get rid of them eventually. You know, it was always going to end up with an LS in it because there was no way that we're going to make more than 500 or 600 horsepower. Jason, there it can, definitely. If you're having issues with cold start, though, there's generally a tab in there that will show you cranking VE, and it is temperature based. You might want to make adjustments to that one if you have it. Matt, I would, if you are wanting to actually make horsepower and do tuning, I would ditch VVT personally. Appreciate it, Darwin. There will be a video coming out talking about ECMs tomorrow. We've got 30 seconds left on the raffle. If you haven't joined already, type in ! raffle. I think everybody in here for the most part has. Dude, I don't even care that the roof goes down, Lynn. It looks like the, it looks like a fixed roof coupe. I'll have to do some digging, John Doe, and find out. I mean, I haven't been looking. This is just something that developed like last week. So, in fact, it just kind of developed this week. We still got some stuff to do, but we knew, we're just going to have to go over to the LS platform sooner than we normally had thought. Well, John, I've got that blower. I'm putting that blower on regardless. We're putting that supercharger on the XLR. That'll probably be enough to blow it up. Mr. Ranch, there is multiple parts on a 5.3 Gen 3 that is capable of surviving 600 horsepower. Now, whether or not it is the pistons and the rods is going to be the question. I believe the cranks on those are pretty stout, though. Somebody want to chime in on there that knows a little bit more about it? Okay, entry is officially closed. So, let's see who our winner is. Lathan, congratulations, brother. Lathan Begley is our winner of a merch pack. Lathan, email me to remind me. I have your address already. Rokon, you just missed the raffle. Tune in next Thursday. We will do another raffle for a merch pack Thursday. Maybe something else. There might be a bonus raffle next Thursday. Let me dig around, see what I can find. 50% duty cycle. J Mike, you should be perfectly fine. You step up to the 85s. What size do you have in there now? Because you're going to be 80% duty cycle on E85 with your current injectors. Yeah, and that crank's pretty stout, isn't it? Yeah, yep. So I believe the hyperetectic pistons are going to be the weak point generally on those, and possibly the rods. Francisco, the E78, is that, what was that used on? Yeah, so that's the hybrid Gen 3, Gen 4, or Gen 4, Gen 5 crossover one. Still working on the old Gen 4s. Yep. So the old 6 liters, right? Rod bolts are weak too. Good to know. Yeah, what were you asking about the E78 though? VVT and torque management, man, Gen 5 stuff will apply. It's the same. Bingo, Lynn. That's what I'm talking about. Just send it. Dude, Michael, I tell you, I'm having a hard time. I don't give up at all. Like, so this is eating my lunch, and it's making me mad because I know for a fact that the E67 will support a 24 tooth reluctor wheel, but I can't get anybody. Thank you, Zeth, for the smoky burnout going towards the van engine fund. I can't get anybody to give me information on how to unlock the 24X reluctor wheel settings on the tune, and to the fact where I've contacted HP tuners about it, and they're like, oh, it doesn't do that. Well, that's BS. I know for a fact it does because Mephi version 4 and 5, which is the Marine EFI platform, uses the E67 ECM with a custom operating system on it, and it supports both 24 and 58 crank reluctors on there. So the actual hardware platform will do it. Now, whether or not the software platform will not, I don't know yet. I can't get a straight answer because nobody does. No, there's no reason to do it. To be honest with you, that's the other issue. Is there's no reason to do something like this, but we're doing it. Now, I know you're going to 80s, J. Mike. What do you have in there now? Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate it. Well, Nick, honestly, I don't know if they would necessarily throw me a bone and help out anyways because I talked trash on them a couple times because of the ginormous ripoff that the Pro feature set is on the MPVI2. I've let it be known. Genie's wondering if the injectors from this 0762L94 will be enough to support 550. They are 54 pounds per hour. VJ, I don't know. Well, you can't tune the E67 boat computers with HP tuners. They don't support the software platform. EFI Live, I don't know. I haven't dug that deep into it to see whether or not EFI Live. Gene, honestly, I'm not sure. You just need to... somebody might be able to tell you whether or not 54 pounds per hour will get that much horsepower. There is calculators out there that will tell you how much horsepower that you can generate based off of your fuel flow rate. That's not information I know off the top of my head. But there is information out there on that, Gene. And just keep an eye on it. Whenever you get to 80%, 85%, it's time to upgrade. Gen 3 engine bounced 7,500 for a while on a burnout. Didn't eat the rod bolts. Reused stock bolts to 180,000 miles. Yeah, buddy. John, I don't really work with software. I do some. I'm an automation programmer, though. You too, Nick. I'll talk to you soon, brother. Which one are you talking about, Francisco? The transmission tool? Reusable torque to yield. Everything is reusable. There you go. There's your answer. Red X-Ray is running them. They support up to 800. Mr. Boxy YJ, Crap Box YJ. I'm probably good on Mustang tunes right now. Yes, John, the crank stuff is in there, and the problem being is that nobody makes a decompiler for the processor in these ECMs, and so there's really no way outside of the guys that have done this, like HP Tuners and EFI Live, to figure out what the parameters are. And so I specifically asked them. They know what it is. I specifically asked them, I said, do you know the address ranges on this? I will pay for the custom parameters, whatever they charge $150 so you can add your own tables in there. Said, I will pay for this option if you just give me the address so I can play around with it. Cameron, what platforms do you work on? You are, John. That's all it takes. As soon as you automate a pellet stove, you are an automation programmer. You might even be an automation engineer now. Blue Angel, check the tune repository. There is probably one on there. Excellent, excellent. Hey, guys, it is time to wrap up. It's 8:56, so let me just go ahead and start off by saying, as always, thank you, everybody, for your support. Couldn't do it without you guys. Zeth, you are correct. Thermostat is the highest level of automation. If you ask an HVAC guy, oh God, then Lathan's an HVAC guy, and I'm over here throwing him under the bus. Okay, yeah, I cut my teeth on Allen Bradley's. I work on some Siemens stuff nowadays, Cameron. Thank you all, as usual, for taking time out of your Thursday night to join us. I appreciate everybody showing up. Appreciate all the support, all the subscribers, all the patrons out there. If you're interested in the Patreon, check out the links down in the description. If you want to share this content with anybody out there, if somebody's asking about how to tune, remember, you can go to tuning101.com. I don't know how I got this web address, but it's mine, and it takes you right to our YouTube channel. Makes it nice and easy to share this stuff. So, that all being said, another great Thursday night, guys. I love each and every one of you. You guys are the garage. Thank you for tuning. ABT, always be tuning. Thank you for stopping by the garage. Hey, let me ask you this. Should we try to do an impromptu this weekend? I mean, because if you guys are down, I could probably squeeze one out. Saturday, an impromptu. That's what I'm talking about. Jacob, my fingertips, I don't know if you'd be able to see my fingertips, but my fingertips are just rashed right now from wires. Just destroyed. We have not done an impromptu in over a month, probably almost 2. So keep your eyes peeled. Keep your, if you haven't rung the bell for notifications, ring that bell. That way, if we decide to possibly do an impromptu, you get the notification. So I will try and post it up an hour or 2 before I actually do it to give you guys a little bit of heads up. But as always, guys, thank you. Have a great night. ABT. We'll talk to you soon.